In a near-future America, a series of catastrophic events has plunged the nation into chaos. The film begins with a news broadcast detailing the fallout of a massive cyber attack that crippled the country's electrical grids and computer systems, leading to widespread blackouts and riots. The sitting president, who was defeated in the last election, refuses to leave office, deploying troops to the White House and dissolving Congress. States begin to secede, igniting a new civil war. During this time, a mysterious event causes over 1 billion people, including the entire global population of children, to vanish without a trace, sending the world economy into free fall. The assassination of the president escalates the civil war. In response, a new global government, the NG, is formed by UN Prime Minister Orhan Caesar. He creates a peace pact with remaining NATO nations and non-NATO countries, including Russia and China, and stabilizes nations on the brink of destruction. As part of this new order, all religious materials are either approved by the NG or deemed subversive and a threat to global security. In the American Union, factions rise to resist the NG. All have been disbanded except for one group called the Remnant, led by former Army Colonel Ruth Martin, a woman wanted for war crimes. The film follows a small group of Remnant soldiers on a mission. Their leader, a man named Mason, tasks a young and inexperienced soldier Trey with running point on the mission. He and his comrade Matthew are tasked with retrieving a crucial item for the resistance. However, a firefight breaks out and the squad suffers casualties. Trey and Matthew are presumed dead, and their mission objective is feared lost to the NG militia. The remaining Remnant soldiers, including the gruff veteran Reuben, a former senator, and others, retreat to their Camp Shiloh. Tensions are high as they mourn their fallen comrades. A news broadcast by the NG-approved journalist Jameson Blair gloats about the Remnant's failures, confirming that the militia is closing in. A mysterious man named Jacob Harris appears at Camp Shiloh. He tells the Remnant soldiers he was living off the grid and came to help after hearing gunshots and seeing bodies. He reveals he was formerly part of the NG militia but deserted after his commanding officer, General Barnes, ordered him to kill an elderly woman he knew. He shares his crisis of conscience, which resonates with many of the group, and they vote to allow him to stay. Reuben remains skeptical and distrustful. As Jacob settles in, he talks with Colonel Martin about her beliefs and the nature of their resistance. She shares a book with him about Christian martyrs, highlighting their willingness to die for their faith. Meanwhile, the body of one of their fallen soldiers, Lonnie, is brought back to camp. He reveals that Angela, another fallen soldier, had a decoy item, not the real one. The Remnant is worried that the NG will find their base because the real mission objective is now missing. General Barnes and his second-in-command, a man named Marcus, are shown at the NG training grounds. Barnes, frustrated by the Remnant's evasion, berates Marcus for his lack of progress in locating them. He demands that Colonel Martin be brought to him alive, as she is the key to breaking the resistance. Back at Camp Shiloh, a young woman named Lisa and her foster brother Aaron, a soldier with the NG militia, meet in secret. Aaron tries to convince Lisa to leave the camp and live a safer life, but she refuses. He warns her that the NG is planning a raid on the area the next morning. When Jacob sees Lisa in the woods, he gets suspicious and the camp is put on high alert. The Remnant soldiers apprehend Jacob and accuse him of being a spy who led the NG to their location. Jacob insists he is innocent, revealing that he cut out the locator chip that all NG militia members are required to have. The camp members turn on Lisa, accusing her of leading the NG to them. Lisa explains that her foster brother is a militia soldier and came to warn her. Colonel Martin agrees to trust Lisa but tells her that another act of betrayal will result in her death. She then orders the camp to evacuate, believing the NG raid is imminent. As the Remnant flees their camp, tensions within the group remain high. The trust earned by Jacob is now fragile, and Lisa's foster brother Aaron has put her in a precarious position. Colonel Martin, a seasoned soldier, knows that staying mobile is their only chance for survival. She leads her troops deeper into the dense woods of Florist Park, a vast and treacherous terrain that she hopes will slow down the NG militia. Reuben, still angry and resentful, questions her leadership and decisions, believing that she is leading them all to their deaths. He argues that their fight is futile and that the promise of restoring the nation to its former glory is just a dream. He believes their only option is to accept their defeat and try to assimilate into the new NG society. Meanwhile, General Barnes is infuriated by the Remnant's escape. He knows they are close and that they possess something critical to the resistance. He deploys his best tracker, Marcus, who has a history with the Colonel and is rumored to be a ruthless killer. Barnes makes it clear to Marcus that he wants the Colonel alive, believing she holds the key to breaking the remaining resistance. He demonstrates his brutality by executing a few of his own soldiers who failed to capture the Colonel and her group. The message is clear: failure is not an option. In their new hiding place, the Remnant members try to regroup. The loss of their camp supplies and fallen comrades weighs heavily on them. Despite the despair, Colonel Martin holds on to her faith, finding strength in the Book of Christian Martyrs. She continues to believe that their sacrifice, however small, will make a difference. The story of the martyrs who willingly gave up their lives for their beliefs gives her hope that their actions are not in vain. The remaining members of the Remnant must decide whether to continue the fight or give in to the overwhelming force of the NG. After escaping the initial NG raid, the Remnant sets up a new temporary camp. Reuben and Mason discuss the growing threats, acknowledging that their network of resistance camps is at risk. Mason suggests they should get rid of Jacob, whose origins as a former NG soldier make him a liability. The camp leadership decides to let Jacob leave, seeing him as a potential threat, and he departs. Meanwhile, a news broadcast shows the NG's propaganda which warns citizens against subversives. At the NG headquarters, General Barnes interrogates Aaron, Lisa's foster brother. He reveals that he knows Aaron's locator chip places him in the vicinity of the Remnant camp. Aaron lies, claiming he was searching for his foster sister, but Barnes doesn't believe him. He shows Aaron a device that was found in his barracks, a crucial piece of the artifact the Remnant has been protecting. Aaron insists it was planted by another soldier. Barnes decides to use Aaron as bait to lead him to the Remnant. Back in the woods, the Remnant is again on the move. They are being hunted by the NG, and the tension between Ruben and the others escalates. Ruben believes that their cause is hopeless and that Colonel Martin's actions are getting them all killed. At the same time, a stray NG soldier comes across Aaron, who has now escaped. Aaron tells the soldier that the NG is close behind and that he has to warn the Remnant. The soldier decides to help him. However, the rest of the Remnant captures Aaron, still believing he is a spy. Lisa, his foster sister, tries to defend him, but Ruben shoots her. Jacob reappears now with the NG and helps them capture Mason and the Colonel. It is revealed that Ruben has been a mole all along, working for the NG. The captured Remnant leaders are taken to meet Harold Payton, a powerful NG leader second only to the Prime Minister. Payton tortures them for information about the artifact. Mason, a pastor, holds on to his faith even in the face of death. He tells Payton that he won't give up their cause and that their sacrifice will bring new life. He refuses to break. Payton then executes Mason, believing that his death will send a message. Aaron, who has been captured and imprisoned, witnesses the cruelty of the NG. He realizes that his foster sister Lisa is being held captive and is being prepared to be sent to the Prime Minister as a pure virgin. He rebels, attempting to kill Barnes and rescue her, but he is shot and killed. Lisa is then shipped off to the Prime Minister. In the final confrontation, Colonel Martin fights Marcus. She defeats him and takes the artifact, which turns out to be a book. She gives the book to another soldier named Lonnie, who then sacrifices himself for the cause. The book is revealed to be a powerful religious text, a message of hope. Martin, now the last of the Remnant, knows that she must carry on their fight. She takes the book to a new camp, A New Hope. Colonel Martin, having escaped her captors, now carries the last piece of the Resistance's hope, a religious book. She meets up with a few remaining members of the Remnant who have also survived the onslaught, including the pastor Mason. He tells her that he and the other members of the group, like Anne, had all come to understand the true nature of their fight. They were not just soldiers in a civil war, they were martyrs for a faith that the new global government was trying to eradicate. They realize that the NG's true goal is to eliminate all remaining spiritual belief and to replace it with their own ideology. The book is not just a symbol of resistance, it is the physical manifestation of hope and faith. The NG wants it because it has the power to inspire people and unite them against the government's oppressive rule. The book holds a message that humanity is more than just a political entity and that there is a higher purpose than just survival. In the final scenes of the movie, Colonel Martin and the remaining members of the Remnant travel toward a location known as Bay Camp. This camp is a sanctuary where people of faith can live freely and openly. The film ends with a sense of hope as Colonel Martin and her small group of survivors arrive at their destination, ready to rebuild and continue their fight. They understand that their war is not over, but they now have the strength and the purpose to face whatever comes next. They are no longer just fighters, they are the keepers of hope and the last line of defense against a world that has lost its soul. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.